We are back, everybody, on Santa Clarita's hometown station, AM-1220 KHTS. It's the Gazette Radio Hour with Doug and John.
It's been a depressing show, Doug.
I know.
Again.
I need an aversion. I need
an
escape.
We always do this to ourselves. So far, we're going to be... Our water system is going to be non-existent. So they won't... Look at it this way. At least nobody's going to hack into our water system because we won't have one.
There you go.
I feel better.
And everything's going to get hacked, and, you know,
it's just terrible.
world's turning to socialism.
Let's talk sports.
Communism's going to come here.
Doug.
Oh, what?
Sports.
Oh, sports, okay.
At least you're not a Clippers fan.
Well, they had a good week.
Yeah, they had a really good week. I'd hate to be a Mavericks fan. How is that even possible? We're talking about DeAndre Jordan. If only we knew somebody who was a free agent once that we could talk to.
Oh, yeah, and get his life experience.
Hey, Brandon, do you know anybody like that? Brandon? Okay, yeah. I guess. Oh, do you know anybody who's used to be a free agent? You missed the first part of the conversation. Let's do this again. Doug, why don't you start off again, okay? We were talking about DeAndre Jordan and going to the Mavericks and going back to the Clippers, right?
Stay with us, Brandon.
Oh, yeah. I'm here.
So, Brandon, do you know anything about being a free agent?
Oh, yeah, of course. When you're a free agent, it's kind of like, your stock kind of rises or falls depending on how well you did the year before. So if you had a pretty solid year and the market is right, it makes sense to try to field some offers to see if, you can do some big things elsewhere money-wise.
So that's what DeAndre Jordan did, right?
Exactly. I mean, that's very normal. A lot of people do it. I mean, obviously, you do this thing to take care of yourself and your family first, and a lot of times you want to win a championship as well. So whatever will put you in that position, you just want to be able to field some offers.
Have you ever heard of what he did, where he made a verbal commitment to the Mavericks, and then his teammates talked him out of it?
This was one of the most hilarious exchanges from what I recall. I can see a lot of people kind of stepping back, but when you have personalities like Mark Cuban involved, it can kind of get theatrical. So, it's kind of like you go on that date, that first date, and everything went well, so you saw it, and then all of a sudden, no calls, no texts, and you find out she got back with her ex. That's the deal. So
that happened to me once.
No, okay, so Brandon, were you ever wooed like a free agent?
Right. No, so I wasn't. I was going to be in position to, but I was going to be a restricted free agent. Okay?
Oh, okay.
So there's a difference between a restricted free agent and unrestricted. So as a restricted free agent, they have to. A team has to match an offer, or your team puts what they call a tender on you. So,
right.
Say the tender is $600,000 for this position for this year, and that's like the average of the top 5 at your position.
Right.
Okay. So you'll get tendered that year. So a lot of people, they kind of, that restricted year, you want to do incredibly well, because after that restricted year, you're unrestricted and you're on the marketplace. So I'll give you an example. The gentleman that I replaced in Green Bay, Vonta Leach, he left and went to the Houston Texans. But he had a year, I guess, in on me. So his next year, he was able to, as an unrestricted free agent, sign a 4-year, $8 million deal.
Yeah, that's not too shabby.
As opposed to making, anywhere from $400,000 to $600,000. So, unrestricted free agents, they are, you really try to ball out that third year, every third year of a contract for the most part. And if NFL is a restricted year, so then that 4th year will be unrestricted, typically, depending on your contract. So
that's pretty good fantasy football. That's pretty good fantasy football advice. Look for guys who are going to be restricted free agents next year. I never thought about that before. My team's going to do well this year.
Exactly. So yeah, the pressure is definitely on for people. And I'm talking about coaches. They'll use that as a motivational tool for some players.
Now wait a minute. You're telling me a coach will sit there and go, "Hey, Myrie, you're in your 3rd year. Don't you want to make more money?" They'll use that?
Absolutely.
And that tone of voice, too.
Contract year. Yeah, absolutely. Coaches try to get the edge any way they can. So,
Wow.
They want to, they want their players to do well. They want their players to be paid well. They'll use that as a reminder.
Hey, Brandon, we're up against the break. Can you hang on?
Oh, no problem.
Hey, listen, but I want you to think about a question, because my question is it money that motivates a player? Isn't there anything inside, self-motivation, pride, wanting to win games?
Ooh.
Why do you have to wait till your contract year to really put it up? Don't answer now. I want you to think about it.
We'll take your answer
When we come back.
after the break. That was my Ryan Seacrest moment. That's pretty good, wasn't it? All right, you listen to Gazette Radio with Doug and John and Ryan Seacrest on AM-1220 KHTS,
Where?
Santa Clarita's hometown
Where?
station.
We are back, everybody, on the Gazette Radio Hour with Doug and John, the radio digest version of the Santa Clarita Gazette and Free Classifieds. We're here every Friday from 2 to 3.
I feel like we should say live from beautiful downtown Newhall.
We are. There's people walking by. I feel like I'm on Fox News with people walking by.
Wasn't it
the
Johnny Carson
sidewalks.
live from downtown Burbank?
Yeah.
And live from
Anyway,
downtown Newhall.
you got to let me ID the
Sorry,
station.
ID the station.
I'm going to get in trouble with the FCC. On Santa Cruz hometown station, AM-1220 KHTS, and we are talking to Brandon Myree, a new resident of Santa Clarita. He used to play football for the University of Alabama, the University of Pittsburgh, the Denver Broncos, and the Green Bay Packers. Correct, Brandon?
Green Bay Packers.
Green Bay Packers.
Now listen, Brandon, does a player think about money all the time, or is he motivated by anything else in the NFL?
I mean, there's plenty of motivations. I mean, the motivation to look good, motivations to get women, run for office, get your own AM show on the radio.
Yeah, there's
No,
that.
I'm serious, but no, there's a lot of motivations for a player. And for a player to even get there, they have to be definitely self-motivated. So a lot of guys want to win. A lot of guys, are motivated to compete. But money is not necessarily the best motivator for anything. But, football is a thing where we know that we're one play of, away from never playing again. So you have to be very passionate about it. I mean,
Right.
we put our bodies and our our lives on the line, to win and to compete. So it's a very highly motivated sport.
Yeah. Did you know other people's salaries? That's the one thing that
Absolutely.
always struck me about football is people's contract situation.
Yeah, and like I said before, I mean, you always have. I mean, this stuff is all public knowledge, and if somebody signs a big deal, they sign a $100 million contract, and everybody else knows the next day.
Are they
You got
picking up the
John
bar tab?
Alexander signing a $56 million deal. Everybody knows.
Are they picking up the bar
you
tab?
got-
That's the question.
No, exactly. That is the biggest question. See, when the bar tab comes in, and the one multi-millionaire is there at the table, and then he starts kind of counting, his drinks. And everybody's looking at him like, you just signed for how much? No,
Yeah.
but we're all in this thing together.
Yeah. Do you think it's a situation with going back to the basketball player? Do you think it's a situation where he just got cold feet, or did he get wooed? I mean, do you get? I mean, you got recruited. You get people to
Right.
come talk to you and try to get you to do stuff. Do you think that's what happened? I mean, you're talking Mark Cuban.
Yeah, you know what? It's amazing. I think I really think he got cold feet with the way Cuban had listed his exchange. He said everything was going fine. They were talking back and forth about other players. Somebody could have got to him. Obviously they did. But at the same time, familiarity breeds complacency.
Yeah.
And so, sometimes you get very comfortable in your environment and you get this fear of the unknown, and he's back home, he'll be back in Texas, so it's just a lot of things that may have come up to say, hey, you know what, let me lean back. And when you have, guys that are over 6 feet tall and, you've been in the locker room for the last couple of years together, they can be pretty persuasive.
Yeah.
I had never heard, though, of that many guys, supposedly of 3 or 4 guys, and coaches and people in the front office all went to his house in Houston and kind of camped out
Camped out. That's pretty
and
bad.
said, we're not
And
leaving till you
honestly-
sign with us.
Jeez.
Absolutely. I honestly think that if that didn't happen, he would not be a Clipper still.
Wow.
So Brandon,
I really
now that
think that.
I have a question for you. I actually just thought of this, so I'm going to interrupt. What do you do now? You're out of football. Do you, what do you do?
No, man.
Sits around the
I
house.
like to jump on this talk show.
Yeah, I know. It's just a
between
sports
2 and
talk
3
junkie.
every Friday. It's just, I kind of play 12 rounds of golf, on my Xbox. No. Oh man, I get up every morning and I go to a bookstore. I have an online bookstore, and I have a production company, and I have a transportation business back in Ohio. So I stay pretty busy.
Okay.
I like doing some philanthropic stuff. So yeah, I like to stay into the thick of things. But my passion where football was is definitely movies and storytelling right now.
Oh, very cool.
All
Anything
right.
cool coming down the pipe?
Absolutely. I'm the ink will be dry hopefully early next week, so we'll be making an announcement about 2 projects that I'll be acquiring to produce. So the writer has written actually one movie directed by Sidney Lumet, and another couple of movies that have been produced by big players. So I'm pretty excited about these projects.
Will you be able to break the news on the show?
Oh man,
There you go.
First destination.
All right, Brandon.
Don't play us,
Go
man.
to.
Don't play us.
All right, Brandon, thanks so much. We'll talk to you next week, maybe.
All right, gentlemen, you guys have a good one. Thank
You too. All right, you're listening to Gazette Radio Hour once again with Doug and John on AM-1220 KHTS, Santa Cruz hometown station. We're out.